The illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques. This is the elbow. An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbow.
All right, people, we're back, man. Illegal Elbow Radio, another exciting episode for you guys, man. This is Brian from Illegal Elbow Radio, Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
So damn funny, just like we called it. Just like we fucking called it. And you know what? The nut huggers and the fanboys can go around saying, "Oh well, he was injured though. You said he was injured. He would have done a better job." And then Nick Diaz getting on Twitter saying, "It's a shame that my brother had to go in there in that condition. He was 40% at best." And then we hear this drivel come out of Nate Diaz's mouth to Ariel Helwani after it. The interview is cringeworthy. He got his ass beat. They could fight 10 more times. He would get half killed, just like Dana said. He almost got murdered in there. He was outclassed, overpaced, out athletic. Fucking Dos Anjos was cut. Fucking Nate comes in there 5 pounds overweight. He seemed like he didn't give a fuck. He got murdered in there. The only thing I could say for Nate Diaz is, hey, bro, you did good. You didn't tap. A lot of people woulda, but you got your ass beat from beginning to end, and rest in peace, Nate Diaz's leg.
You know, in coming into this fight, it's like, you look at it, it's like a loss to Josh Thompson, a loss to Ben Henderson, a win over Gray Maynard gets you back up into the number 2, number 3 spot. I don't get it. You know, Gray Maynard's been on a rough road himself. I mean, how does he, you know, fight a Gray Maynard? Gray Maynard's on a 3-fight losing streak here. He beats a Gray Maynard and he gets a shot at the number 2 guy? Number 2 or number 3 guy? I'm not 100% sure on that, but Rafael Dos Anjos is right there. So they threw Nate a bone, man. Or Nate whatever he did, he bitched, whined, and pissed about it, and got them to give him whatever they negotiated for, whatever you want to call it. But Rafael Dos Anjos just clearly handed him his ass, and it's like, it shows why Nate Diaz is not in that position. And you can cry all you want with the 40%, all that. Well, why didn't you say he was injured then and just not do the fight? You know, sometimes that's called for, and it's, sometimes it's necessary, because I'm sorry, man, you can't go into every fight injured and then, whether you win or lose, make all these excuses about it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. These guys are known for excuses. They're both great fighters, don't get me wrong, but Nate Diaz doesn't belong in the area of a Rafael Dos Anjos, much less a Josh Thompson, Ben Henderson. Yeah, just, rest your leg, go back to training, lose some weight, and nobody wants to hear the excuses, man, really. I mean, I don't.
No, it's a fucking clown show, and then he posts a pic of him smoking down on some buds after. This guy's a fucking clown, an ass clown, okay? He should have been cut, when he came in. 5 pounds overweight in an MMA fight is like a disrespect to the fight itself, okay? 1.
Yeah, no, you're number 1, you're not serious. You can't be all that serious about it.
2, you're talking shit at the end of the fight on the ground, getting your ass beat. You're talking shit to Rafael Dos Anjos, which you talked much shit on Twitter beforehand too. That's probably why he came down so hard on your ass. You got your ass handed to you Bangladesh style, okay?
Silver platter.
And then to go into Ariel Helwani, and to give this excuse-filled ADD rant, I was injured, but I come to fight. I'm still here to fight. But I come to fight. Like, everybody's going to give you a fucking cookie, okay? Because you came in here. Dude, they like I said, you could fight him 10 times, and one of the times he might kill your ass, okay? Put it that way. And your face is going to look like it did when coming out of it, when he's raining down elbows and the mount and the fucking when you're in the guard or he's in the mount, whatever. He fucking fucked you up on the ground, fucked you up standing up. Your leg is dude, you couldn't even stand on it, bro. You couldn't even stand on it anymore. You couldn't
Yeah,
even. He destroyed it.
That shit was beautiful too, man. The way he did that.
Yeah.
Any jab that he would have brought to that fight got nullified pretty damn
Yeah.
quick too. So
And guess what? If you think you're a big badass, try fighting Cowboy Cerrone again, because I'll put my money on Cowboy this time. Okay, because Cowboy's gonna be targeting that fucking leg too this time. He will target the fuck out of that, and if Cowboy can't kick just as hard, he can kick around just about the same strength as Dos Anjos, maybe even harder. I don't know, but that's Cowboy's MO. But enough with Nate Diaz's fucking clown show circus act. He just wants to get the fuck out of here and get cut so he can go to Bellator and fight some lower tier talent. But Dos Anjos, hats off, and a respectful plea to Dana White, saying, Dana White, I've won. I'm 6-0 or whatever and 0 or 9-0 or whatever and 0 since I've been in the UFC. I deserve a fucking title shot. Okay, he's beat the ex-champ. He deserves a title shot. Dos Anjos has a good shot at beating Pettis.
yeah, right now he's 8-1 in his last. Well, I'm sorry, he's 8-1 in his last 9. I mean, and it's top dudes, man. I mean, Jason Hye's not the next big thing or something like that, but Jason Hye's a good fucking well-rounded tough dude. You know, and other than that, it's Ben Henderson and Nate Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
The Cerrone, Evan Dunham, Bochek. You know, I mean, there's great names there. And
Fucking Burgers Row. Yep.
you know, the only guy that he had a hiccup with was Nurmagomedov. So it's like, you know, they're talking about that too. Does he get around Nurmagomedov, or does he deserve another fight with him? You know, that was.
Well, they're saying Dana came out and said Nurmagomedov's not healed yet. He's not close to being healed right. Dos Anjos gets the next title shot, so it's already
That's cool.
It's already been called. So
That's cool. If he's not going to be ready, man, hey, dude, sorry, man. I mean, shit happens. I mean, if somebody earned the title shot, I guess if it's just too damn long for them to be able to come back to it, you got to give it to somebody else, man, because people don't want to wait around, you know.
dude, we might see Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos versus Pettis as soon as like a March or a May, and with a CM Punk on that card. So you know,
and that's the thing too, man. Pettis said, "Hey, I'm healthy, man," you know, but the athletic commission gave him I don't know what the exact thing was, but they gave him a suspension. I think it was. I want to say it was at least. It was a substantial suspension, and it's like, well, what? You know, this guy's feels good. He's ready to defend his belt, and it's like they hand that down to him. What the fuck is that about? I mean, I almost want to go back and look to some of these articles that talked about that suspension, because they always hand out, people that don't know, they always hand out some kind of suspension, whether you're a winner or a loser. It depends on what you've taken during that fight, like whether you've taken a beating enough to, you know, okay, you can't come back and fight in a month. But some guys do. They just come out of there unscathed,
yeah.
and they can fight in a month and a half or whatever it is. You know, it happens. It's a rarity, but it happens.
This is going to be a hype train situation where, you know, it's already in the works. They've already announced it. Now it's just setting a date and hyping it up all the way up until that time. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, I know Pettis is suspended, whether it's a 6-month and that might get lifted over time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I know it is a substantial suspension, which sucks. But at the same time, it's like they can't allow him to go in there not ready to fight. You know what I mean? If he gets cleared by a doctor, you know, a competent doctor, you know, then yeah, they'll probably give him the go ahead to do it. You know, but
if not, we're probably looking at summertime. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we can see like you said, you know, a May, you know, maybe at late, you know, a May or June or something like that, to where he can do a little bit of light training, you know, into a full camp. You know what I mean? Something like that. But
just to talk about it, you know, just to say, hey, Pettis, this guy's a badass, dude. This guy is a little fucking pit bull that doesn't stop. And Pettis, yeah, you're fucking great at what you do, and you're the ultimate striker. This guy's comparable, dude. He's proved that against Ben Henderson, who's not the greatest striker in the world. Don't get me wrong, but he made him look silly. Right now, with his camp, I see him beating Pettis, dude. And the early on prediction.
Yeah,
He just looks good, man.
I think he could make a lot of big problems for a Pettis. But it seems like when Pettis, digs his heels in and he's able to start timing you, seeing what you're doing, seeing what you're bringing, because he did have a little bit of some issues for like a real short time with Melendez. And then once he started to, get Melendez's timing down, he really started landing some just premium shots, man. I mean, just premium shots. So I could see maybe some of them openings being kind of slowing down for a guy like Pettis. Maybe. But Dos Anjos, can maybe score that takedown and maybe still be in trouble. You know what I mean? And having himself open to a ground game of a Pettis can be sick right there too. You know what I mean? So that's a really tough fight to call, dude. Damn. I mean,
we got time, but early, like I said, early on prediction.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say right now I can't predict it for a Dos Santos, man. I would have to go with a Pettis, but at the same time it's early on, so we could kind of reassess as it gets closer if it's going to happen. So I mean,
hell yeah! And people, we're going to come back after this quick break with the main event, the war of the evening, the battle of titans, the slugfest, bloodfest, Bangladesh faces falling off.
Blood curdling.
Like fucking Joker, Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight, Dos Santos. But before that, we got a brand new commercial coming up. So stay tuned. Listen to the commercial, but we'll be right back with this main event. Mom, I'm getting real frustrated here. I want to listen to my Illegal Elbow show podcasts and stuff, and I can't. I go here, they redirect me here to the Spreaker app. I want something more convenient. This is not fair. I want to listen to this when I want to listen to it.
Hang on, Mom. All right, I got this one. All right, look, buddy. No big deal, all right? What you do, you head over to your Google Play Store. And then what you do is you search Illegal Elbow, all one word, no spaces. Voila. You got your app right there, man. You can check out every Illegal Elbow show. Illegal Elbow MMA show.
You hear that, Ma? All of them.
It's so easy to do. Packed with information on us, how to contact us. Go to our home pages, our Facebook pages, our Twitters, all that good stuff, man. So it's a great app. So go check it out, comment on it, rate it. That's another thing we want, man, is give us a rating on that app, what you think of it. So,
you hear that, Ma? You hear that, Ma? One word, Illegal Elbow. Type it in right now, Google Play Store.
Kids all hyped up, man, and you should be too, people. Go over, Google Play Store, check it out, man. Thanks a lot, guys. So coming to this fight, man, really, I thought Stipe Miocic has a great shot at this fight. There's a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to a Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos, I think, he did a pretty good job of answering those. There's still more questions, in my opinion, when it comes to him. But one thing I really wanted to look back at when it comes to Miocic, the win over Fabio Maldonado, which might as well be a null and void because it's a different weight class. It's, Gabe Gonzaga on the same very night, this past Saturday, just got embarrassed. Before that was Roy Nelson. He just embarrassed Roy Nelson horribly, and that's what really we really like this guy, but at the same time, the Roy Nelson fight, just the way he just demolished.
I don't say Roy Nelson did better against JDS than he did against Stipe, in a way.
Damn straight, and that's why I was like, you know what, this guy's really kind of on the map here with his movements and what he does, and I almost think that Stipe Miocic went for too much of the wrestling game too early on, and it didn't help him, But before I get into that more, before that was the Stefan Struve fight that he lost, and that was his first loss of his MMA career. And to me, it's almost like you really got to look at a fight like that, where he takes a knockout loss, which he's grown a lot since then. I don't want to put too much stock in that loss, but it's kind of one of them losses. It's still a nagging kind of in the back of your head, a nagging thought, I guess. But just to throw that out there. But it really shows that he's kind of learned a lot. Still, improving his own boxing, stuff like that with the Roy Nelson Gonzaga Maldonado fight, that kind of stuff. Going into the Junior Santos fight, I don't know what you think about it, Dan, but to me it looked like Stipe Miocic maybe should have went a little bit more with his boxing game and kind of not done the takedowns so quick. I'm thinking maybe if Stipe Miocic would have had a different game plan, it might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, I think actually I'm thinking a little bit different on this from his game plan. I'm thinking that his initial game plan of trying to get a Junior Dos Santos down and getting the takedowns and eventually the first person, I think, or one of the first couple people to take a Junior Dos Santos down like that, because he's got excellent takedown defense. He wanted to make JDS expend energy to fight against that, so maybe he could use his boxing in the later rounds against a tired JDS. That's what I thought he was trying to do. JDS, his
backfired on him, man.
It backfired on him. The simple fact is he didn't stick with that simple plan long enough, and he started catching some fucking flack. As you see, he kept multiple times getting JDS against the fence, but not being able to keep him there. Yes, he had a nice right hook as JDS came out of the fucking. He chased him down the fucking cage a couple times with that right hook. Just fucking landed. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
The thing that the thing that I seen with the Stipe Miocic, and if you look back at Stipe Miocic, I think in the third or fourth round, man, he fucking unleashed some fucking haymakers that just missed, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you were thinking, dude, if he would have nailed him, dude, he would have fucking. He even had JDS. The crowd was going crazy. I was like, dude, is he going to put JDS out? Combos following him against the fucking cage. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
JDS fucking hanging in there. Steel chin. JDS starting to look like Heath Ledger from fucking. We both said it when we got on here.
Started getting good at running, too, man. He was getting good at running. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. You're like, bro, who did JDS look like after, like, the third round? I was like, the Joker. And you're like, yeah, bro, Heath Ledger, the Joker.
I can't believe we both picked that out. Yeah. It was nuts, people. I'm not even kidding, man. Dan and I both were not hanging out that night. But we both picked him out looking like Heath Ledger. He really seriously looked like him. If you add the mop, add the hair, he would have looked exactly like
him. And that being said, on a serious note, it's okay if his face looks like this after getting wrecked by a guy that's probably not doesn't have the kind of power that a Mark Hunt has, doesn't have the kind of power that a Carwin has, and doesn't have the kind of power that a fucking Kane has. Okay? He doesn't have the kind of power any of those guys have. But all those guys at the same time have unleashed their power on JDS's face. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's looked pretty fucking gruesome. And after tonight, I would have to say this is probably the worst I've ever seen JDS's face, dude. It was swolled up 3 times the size of its normal fucking proportions, dude. It was not like, oh, yeah, he had a little, first it was the side of his cheek that started swelling up. And then at the end of the fight, it was just his whole face, bro. His whole face was just a big old, did you see him standing next to fucking Steven Seagal? It was like an alien. It's like.
It's horrible looking, man. I think it's a little bit of leftovers from what Kane did to him, because I think in the last fight with Kane made him look, he looked fucking horrible. And even
he got scar tissue through his whole face, bro.
Oh, he does, absolutely, man. I think a lot of what Stipe did to him is a lot still riding on all the scar tissue he has from the Kane fights. He got bludgeoned in both fights, and this one here just opened all that shit back up, and it looked nasty. Stipe Miocic was worse for wear too, because this is the toughest fight of his career. And he didn't go down. He took some hard shots, didn't go down. He was in there for the long haul, man. He looked good, but it's just, I think he blew his wad, whatever. It's a gross term, but I apologize, people. But hey, man, everybody says it, but it doesn't take on that meaning. He wore himself out way early, in my opinion, and it's like, It was a good game plan, but it was a good game plan against a guy that's known for combating that. I mean, a guy that's known for having great takedown defense. And Stipe Miocic is not the wrestler that Cain Velasquez is. I mean, not at this point.
Bro, how many shots did how many right overhand power shots did fucking JDS miss in that fight?
Probably 47 per round.
Just the telegraphed, I'm pissed off, I'm resorting back to primitive old school JDS that we've talked about many times. Those shots take a lot out of you, dude, if you don't land it. Even if you do it, it's a power shot, okay? At the same token, Stipe was getting out of the way of this. But at the same token, if you look at the first couple rounds of Stipe, he constantly had his fucking his gloves up. He was boxing. He was fucking blocking any fucking rights that were coming in. He was just putting that hand up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Halfway through the second round and on, fucking hands down, dude. And that's when his fucking face started getting fucked up, if you notice. Because he was relatively unfucking scathed, dude. Hey, I got to give props for JDS. Because for the simple fact is, even though he was fucking tired in those championship rounds or those contendership rounds, he looked actually decent enough to where there was no walling and stalling to get some breath, bugging and hugging. He was staying fucking active. Yeah, he was telegraphing shit, but he was still going for it.
Yeah, his gas tank was good. Yeah, I mean, his gas tank wasn't horrible, man. I mean, not like, previous fights. I mean, definitely the will to go is still there, man. But one thing I want to point out, man, about Stipe that kind of bugged me a little bit, is when the fight was over and they called the winner, Stipe was just about ran out like a Forrest Griffin.
Yeah,
against against whatever fight that was. I mean, he ran out. He was embarrassed, But Stipe ran out. Yeah, Stipe ran out, and it was kind of like, dude, all right. Junior Dos Santos had to chase you down in order to pay you respects, dude. Yeah. And you still didn't want to fucking say anything to him. You still ran away, and it's like, dude.
He was doing that, in my opinion, to the judges, but,
But it's, I mean, to me, it's like, no matter how it looks, it's like, he should know better. He should know better that that's not how you handle it. You know what I mean? I know you might be pissed, but it's like, there's no way in anybody's right mind that he could have thought he won that fight. To me, there's no way. Yes, he threw some shots that look great, but JDS was peppering him all night long. JDS.
I thought it was a split decision the way I seen it, and I'm counting. The reason I'm saying that is from the way that JDS's face looked, and it wasn't from elbows, and it wasn't from big right hooks. It was from jabs. All fucking night long, he got fucking worked by that jab. Yeah. And that's what I based my premise on in this fucking fight. So people can say this, but everybody has their own opinion, and you can say, well, but the UFC card said like that. Well, that's somebody else's opinion too. So, those judges' opinions. But I'm looking at what I've seen, and I would have thought that it was closer to a split decision, maybe. So I don't know, but.
Yeah,
it was a fast fight, dude. It wasn't like a dominating performance, It's like Stipe ran out of that. In my opinion, he ran out of that fucking ring because he knew that was his fucking contender shot, dude. That's like, I don't know. Yeah, if it was any other fight, I'd be like, what the fuck you doing, man? But this is like so close, man. You're right there, and you worked your ass off, and you fucking took this other guy to his limits. Both your faces are fucking fucked, yeah. But Junior's was fucked quicker. Okay? His shit started showing up real quick.
Well, I mean, on that same token, I mean, John Jones got fucking mangled by, and he still won the fight. I mean, well, because that was a title shot, too. That was a title match.
Yeah. No, I'm just, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about directly the facial looks. I'm just talking about what caused that, man. That was that pointing jab, the jab that I don't know if it's not respected yet in MMA, but he fucking worked that fucker Golden Glove style, dude. So I was watching the boxing aspect of it, I guess.
It looked to me like Junior Santos had a whole different boxing world going on there. He definitely saw a boxing coach. He did not see any kind of a wrestling coach or nothing. When he left his camp, he wanted to see a better boxing coach. So he did not break himself with the whole knockout thing. Well, maybe a little bit,
Yep.
but he definitely has more of a boxing prowess, I think, than ever before.
We got to remember, he did get fucking Stipe on fucking roller skates there.
Yeah, he was out on the ice.
Yeah, grabbing for ankles.
Flipping, skipping around, skating around on the ice, man, for a little bit there. I mean, I don't want to buy Dos Santos too much credit because I still think the guy needs to, develop more of a ground game. But it's just me, you can improve on your boxing, you can improve on your striking, and all that. And it showed. But how's it going to show with, a Fabricio Verdum or, the champion still right now? I mean, it's sure it could bring a lot to the table, but it's like when you're on your back, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Because you're not going to be able to last forever. Stipe already proved that. You're not going to be able to last forever with your newly found boxing. It's just not going to happen, man. So I just think he's still a one-sided fighter when it comes to Dos Santos. I don't want to disrespect him too much, but I don't want to buy him too much credit either because he's still that one-sided fighter that firmly, totally, solidly believes in his striking and doesn't work on the ground game enough, in my opinion. I mean, maybe he does, but we don't see a lot of it because he wasn't on his back a lot in this fight. So, it's hard to really say.
It was a war, man. Either way, it was a fucking war. Everybody got their money worth. Joe here says, dude, I've never seen anything like that. That was the most gruesome fucking fight I've ever seen. And he's like, because before they came in, he's like looking at their fucking, 6'4", whatever, 6'3", 6'4", fucking 250 or 245, and he's like, holy shit, these guys are mammoths.
They're neck and neck as far as stats too, man. They're neck and neck.
And he's like, holy shit. And then after the fight, because it was just, it was a fucking bloodbath, man. It was like, and he's like, dude, is this on regular TV? Is this on Fox? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but it's late night, it's like, when we were fucking kids, we were watching fucking bloody ass boxing on fucking TV. It's just it's an American way. People need to get over it. I bet a lot of people fight about it, but it was a war.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. It was a heavyweight battle, and that's what we fucking watched this shit for. So it was.
Yeah. You can go back to the Fox Friendly Family, video that we put out on YouTube, man. Fucking.
How about this one, bro?
Jimmy.
How about this one? Half the time you get two big heavyweights here, you see a low Fadolf against the fucking fence. We get a couple outbursts here and there, and then some more low Fadolfing. Guess what? We've seen a better performance out of these two guys than we've seen the previous week against fucking Hendricks and Lawler.
Yeah, we
did. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, so we're talking about heavyweights versus two weight classes below, man. So, and I agree, man. I agree 100%, man. These guys are two cut heavyweight dudes, man, and they're not pushing that maximum either.
I couldn't ask for a fucking better fight, bro. Really.
It was a good fight, man. It was a very good fight. Let me throw this at you, a little blindside action for you. Who would you give Stipe next? Coming off a loss to JDS.
Stipe Miocic, I would have to probably throw him against the Travis Brown.
Dude, that could be sick, man.
A Travis Brown or a fucking Mark Hunt, any of those guys. Either one. They're dancing around there. He's fallen a notch after being a possible contender. They're sitting there waiting to get that fight to leap back up. Especially a Brown. So
let me ask you this, man. What about a Stipe Overeem?
You know what? No. I think Overeem, there's no fucking way. If Overeem gets that shot, I'm going to call bullshit because Overeem needs to get a couple fights under his belt before he starts fucking around with top 5 guys. Fuck that, dude.
I wouldn't even say Stipe's a top 5 guy, though.
What's that?
I mean, is Stipe really a top 5 guy though, at this point?
I think he's a top 5 guy. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely a top 5 guy. There's no name guys ahead of him. He just fought. This is like a contenders match right here, dude. This was like a contenders match.
Oh, right. But I mean, if Nate Diaz beat which wouldn't have happened, but if Nate Diaz beat Dos Anjos, he probably would have got a title shot off of that, and he was number 14.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Just
true.
to make the argument.
Yeah, that's true. And why they made that matchup is because, if I'm not mistaken, somebody called somebody out, but I could be wrong.
Cried,
Yeah.
probably.
So either that or, like we said before, Dana's unpurposely throwing these two motherfuckers to the Sharks right now. So, and letting them get chewed up into little bits. And guess what? There was some piranha action that happened this last weekend. So,
yeah.
Because he got chewed up and spit the fuck out. But anyway, that being said, Diaz, his brother, fucking Nick's going to get the same thing happen to him when Spider comes back. But anyway, getting back to the whole thing, dude, I think they're comparable, dude. JDS, Stipe. I don't know what Stipe's ranked right now.
Stipe right now, according to UFC's rankings, which I don't know who does.
He's got to be 6.
I think it's Jeremy Botter that does the rankings, which I'm not sure who he writes for it.
He's got to be 5. He's got to be 5, 4, 5, or 6, dude.
Yeah, they got him right now at number 4. So ahead of Mark Hunt, Josh Barnett, Andrei Arlovsky, Bigfoot Silva. Bigfoot Silva's still number 10.
See, this is exactly lining up to what I'm saying too. It's like Overeem. You need to get, you just got your shit cleaned by fucking Ben Rothwell, who would get a shot
Overeem's
at fucking
11.
Yeah.
Overeem's 11. Mitrione's right behind him, dude. That Mitrione Overeem makes sense. Dude.
And Brothwell's probably up there at fucking 7 or 8 right now. So
Rothwell's 10 on their shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which he just knocked Overeem out, and I would see him going against Stipe before that. But like I said, bring on Hunt, bring on fucking Travis Brown. Let's go. Because we want to see an all-out fisticuffs.
Those guys are right around him, too. Stipe is 4, Travis Brown's 3, Mark Hunt's 5.
Yeah, it's fisticuffs times, dude. That's what we want to see. And right now we're getting it's right in our wheelhouse, dude. The top fucking 4 or 5 right now. Fucking fisticuffs time.
Fisticuffs, baby.
Yep, some knockout fucking power going on here on everybody. But that being said, we ran this motherfucker up and down, brother.
We drilled a hole in it, man. But
don't forget, people, check out our new Illegal Elbow. Now, when you type this in, it's Illegal Elbow, one word, Google Play Store app. Okay? Brand new.
Android,
awesome.
Baby.
Yep, Android. Check it out. It is very convenient. You go in there once you download this thing and install it into your phone. You go in there. You just scroll down to all our shows, everything. Tell you everything about us, all our archive shows. We almost got like 170 shows from this year alone on it. Check it out.
Yeah, it's we got the off-topic stuff in there too, man. It's another little another little channel in there, There's the Illegal Elbow shows, and then there's the off-topic stuff too. So, yeah, give it a look-see, man. All kinds of stuff going on there. Information on us, our home pages, stuff like that. So, how to contact us, stuff like that. So it's.
Remember that's Illegal Elbow. Print it in as one word though. It'll come right up on there. Yeah, check it out, people.
For shit's sake, man. But tell you what, brother, steadfast.
In a God beer.